Be aggressive. Go in there. That's the trap that you're looking for. You're looking for the short one in the honey hole. Go up there and rip it. That's the one. And then you'll be smoking those returns. Another return that, can surprise your opponent on a big point, the element of surprise, the chip and charge, the old crush and rush. Even if you're not a good volleyer and, it's not your best, the element of surprise on a big point against a club player, you do that little chip and charge. The chip and charge or the crush and rush. It's all about catching the ball early and getting in. You're trying to go get the ball. When you chip and charge, you're not waiting. You're just going right on your horse and going to get after it. Very important. And you're not trying to hit it too hard. You're just trying to meet the ball and make your opponent do something that you've made the attack. Let's look at one more chip and charge here before the expert will do it. See, and the key when you've chipped and charged is to get to net as fast as you can. You don't want to loaf. You don't want to take your time. This is not Hollywood. No take two. You're getting right to the net. Crush and rush. Let's look at Mike do a couple now. Now, if you're feeling it, how often will you do this in a match?
I'll do it on big points because it makes your opponent come up with a great shot. I want to come in up the line and I want to come in and position myself right here. Make him pass me across the middle of the court. Because if he tries that, I'm here for the up the line. I can cover the cross court and poke into the open court. So I try to keep that chip low, make him hit up.
What happens if you decided you're going to chip and charge before you've done it and they serve to your forehead? Show us how you might do that.
Okay. Then I'll come in on the forehand.
Also, you'll chip the forehand as well. Very nice.
If I'm going to chip and charge, I'm going to hold a continental grip.
You're going to hold a continental chip grip?
So if they go out to my forehand, I have an easy job of just blocking up line again.
All right, let's see a forehand chip and charge. Come on, get a piece of somebody right here. Beautiful. That's a great play, too, when you're chip and charging. Remember, great play is to go down the line and cover down the line. Because I call it return to sender. A lot of times, if you chip the ball down the line, they're going to come back to you on the same direction the ball came, back down the line. So that's when you saw Mike and when I did it, when you come in, think line. Even if you're really close, you're in good position. Because you never want to come into the middle of the court, too much area both sides. So when you chip and charge down the line, cover down the line, and you'll have great success with this technique. Crush and rush your opponent to death. Now, the last thing on the return to serve, we've been doing a lot of the return to serve, is where to return the ball. If you're playing a guy that serves and stays back, I'd like to think 97% of the time, it's a neutral ball. You want to aim safe and cross court. Like 4 feet from the width, 4 feet from the length. Give yourself plenty of margin of error, but you don't want to hit it down the middle. So that's why on a forehand you want to go cross court, or a backhand you want to go cross court. And if you're playing that one dreaded serve and volleyer at the club, you think about getting the ball below his waist. Doesn't matter where it is, you want the volleyer to have to volley up on either side. You don't want the volleyer having to hit nothing but slam dunk. What can you add to that, Mike?
I play a lot of doubles, and when I'm returning, I want to get almost every ball cross court. There's a poacher at net, there's a guy, there's an obstacle. You got to get the ball past the net guy. In doubles, you want to go a little wider too. You want to try to aim for the alley, because the guy up here at net, especially
so you want to use that alley in the doubles.
Yeah, you got to use that alley. We practice it time and time again. There's a guy at net here, and he's covering everything. If you go high, he's going to be all over your partner. He's going to hit your partner in the face. So you want to
not good.
You want to try to get this thing down and dirty in the alley, and you're going to win most every point. Your partner can help you out. Your partner can be all over the net.
So in doubles, you're thinking about getting that ball down below the net, making a volley up.
You don't have a big space to hit the ball in doubles. It's more, you have to be more decisive. You have a smaller target. If you're playing a baseliner, you want to get some height over the net. It gives you a chance to get back in the middle of the court. And I'd go cross court almost every time. If you go up the line, then he's got you in a yo-yo. He's just going to go cross court, and then you're on the run. It's
a much higher risk. Occasionally, 1 in 10 or 15, you're feeling good, then you could pull it up the line.
Yeah. On a second serve, just as we're talking about, the up the line chip return, coming to net, or if you really want to take a risk, go for the up the line winner.
If I'm playing a huge server, this is where Andre Agassi would excel. He'd take a short, quick step and block it and think about getting the ball in first. So that's one big mistake people make when they face a big serve and they're on it. They take a huge swing. I tend to say take a little smaller swing and let the power work with it. But think about getting it in play. We're not all blessed to return like Andre Agassi, so we need to think about off a big serve, neutralizing him a little bit, and get it in play. Because a lot of times if a guy's a big server, maybe he doesn't ground stroke as well. But stay in the point. Let's also talk about the recovery on the return, which is huge. Because a lot of times, when you make that move, you're over here, the one thing you don't want to do is stare at the return. Geez, am I in good shape? Anticipate that if you've made the ball cross court, think about getting back to the middle. You might not be able to get all the way back to the middle, but anything is better than hitting and staring. Because that's what a lot of us do. A lot of club players, a lot of people, even on the tour, they hit a good one and they think they're going to win the point. Hit a good one and think about getting back to home base so you can do something on the next shot. So what do you think about after you hit your return?
Just depends how well I hit it. If I hit it well, I'll sidestep and look for my big shot. If I hit a cheesy return, I'll start sprinting.
So that was me right there. I hit a lot of cheesy returns, because I try to be neutral, and then that's important for me to get there. Because I wasn't as offensive-minded as you, but like when I was playing well, I made tons of returns, and I was thinking about the next shot. Let's look at a couple of Mike's returns here on the recovery. First, a couple offensive ones, and then a couple defensive ones. There's an offensive return, and he gets right in the middle where he's looking to do a forehand. See how he hit a good return. He got on his horse because he anticipated that he might get to use a forehand, and boom, 1-2. Now let's look at the defensive position. See right there? He just poked the return in play. He kind of got caught, was in no man's land, but instead of doing something big or foolish, he just hacked it in play, and then he got on his horse and just hit a solid shot to stay in the point. Very sensible way to play for a club player. That's going to win you a lot of matches. It doesn't look pretty, but I promise you, hacking and moving sometimes does better than screaming winners. Once again, I'd like to thank the Bryan twins for helping me out today on the return to serve. And remember, on VOD, you can rewind me, replay me at any time. So have fun with it, and see you next time.